Welcome back, everyone, to another session of Half-Rate Heroes. I shouldn't move too much. My computer's on tentative right now. So, it's good to have everyone back for tonight's wonderful adventure. Last week, we had a hard time. A sad moment when a friend lost his diamond because it failed to resurrect an ally. So we bid farewell for the time being to Ali, and we'll meet Graham's new character shortly. In rescuing and reclaiming the Harper Tower, our heroes, yes, they lost the life of a companion, but also secured an alliance and relationship with the Harper agents. While these individuals may not be Harper agents, they are clearly considered to be friends of the Harpers for now. Returning to Neverwinter by way of the teleportation network that the Harpers had created, our heroes find themselves inside the Harper headquarters. They've got pretty much an indefinite amount of downtime as they wish, as there's nothing other than their main desire to save the world. There's no time crunch right now. You were each given an opportunity to requisition up to 500 gold pieces worth of equipment or stuff that the Harpers will aid you with, and they will repay you for having reclaimed the tower for them. Some of you have already messaged me about that, and we've done that. Some of you may not, so if there's anything that you'd like, bring it up, let us know. But we rejoin on one particular day, and I have to double check how much of the situation and your plan going forward had you discussed with the Harper agent last week. I believe you told him you intend to go track down Breaking Earth, find a ship that's run by the leader, and go in, right?
Not exactly.
Okay.
When we heard his accent, we thought it was strange, and he revealed that he had spent some time in the Underdark. So we, in a roundabout way, started asking about Bregan the Earth and what we might be able to do to gain admittance to this organization. And he hinted that there was a boat in the harbor, but didn't know the name of it. And Kale determined this was accurate, and the agent was going to find someone who could tell us all about that,
Okay.
if I recall correctly.
Fair enough. That sounds right. That sounds accurate to me. All right. What do you guys want to do? What are the things that you would like to get done while you're in the city of Neverwinter before you start charging off or investigating Bregendieth?
Well, since we're with the Harpers, if we're like, are we at a spot where they're like, wait right here, we'll come right back with the information that you're asking for, or are they just said,
It'll take them some time to get the information. No more than a day. They're pretty decent with the spies, and so they can come back. If you guys are just kind of relaxing and enjoying the amenities that are provided to you, which is comfortable living space, food and drink that you might need, bathhouses, all that sort of thing, then Leos and Erlentar will return to you, swaggering his way, the suggestion spell having worn off by now, giving Kale quite the look. Although it's not quite the suggestion spell. No, it is. You do cast suggestion, don't you? Yeah. As he saunters into your living quarters with someone with him. Now, Graham, would you mind describing who this person is?
Sure. The character in question is a dark-garbed Shadarkai, relatively rare in this plane. They're relatively androgynous looking with pale white hair that almost appears to be like tentacles coming down to about their shoulder that ends in they're black and they end in white. And they kind of move on their own slightly. as they walk. Their clothes are heavily adorned with jewelry and skulls and the like, and one of their ears is pierced down the ridge.
Okay, all right. As he steps in with this dark-looking individual, Leosin bows to you all. It's good to see you all today. I got the information that you were looking for. I managed to find out the name of the ship that is in the harbor. Here's what I know. Bregan the Earth have 3 ships that we know of. They are named the Eyecatcher, the Heartbreaker, and the Hellraiser. Now, the Hellraiser is in the docks here. And we haven't gotten someone on the ship yet. We have confirmed that there is no drow on the ship, at least that we can see. I believe the other 2 are still in Laskin.
So that was the eye catcher and the what?
Eyecatcher, Heartbreaker, and Hellraiser. Fun fact, folks. I designed this entire adventure to have Jarlaxle on a boat before reading Waterdeep Dragon Heist, so we'll start noticing a few things matching up with the fall season of Waterdeep Dragon Heist. Spoiler alert, you'll enjoy it. Okay. So, now I got you that information. We, as the Harpers, we felt bad that in defense of our tower and organization that you lost a friend. And while we promise we will take care of her body, we would like to offer you our assistance. And that is by way of... what was your name again?
Taslin.
Taslin. I'm sure it is. So, this is Taslin, and they are very capable, from what I've been told, and can help you on the road ahead.
Capable of what?
Capable of what? How many are a well-practiced mage in these lands willing to aid assistance? I am a wizard, my friend.
Great. Why are you here?
Why am I? Well, I suppose the easiest answer is I was asked to be here. But if you need more reasons, my home plane is the Shadowfell. So I was drawn to these events, I suppose I should say, by the current going-ons between the planes.
I didn't ask you to be here.
You did not, but our Harper friends did.
One recent event that kind of spurred you and your people to kind of get involved was a giant castle in the sky crashing into one of your cities.
Well, you see, a giant castle in the sky crashed into one of my cities recently.
One of your cities?
One of my cities.
So you own cities?
Well, no. The Raven Queen cities would be more exact. But my home city.
Well, that's very unfortunate. And also something of a recent event. Have you been with the Harpers very long?
No, not at all, actually.
Well, so how long has it been, you think?
We have worked together for off and on, not in an official capacity, though. I myself have friends in certain dark places that have led our friend Taslin to us to aid us on this day. While she may not have been part of the Harpers, she has been serving on our behalf in certain capacities in the past,
I'm a huge
mostly within the Shadowfell.
Mhm.
We thought it would be a good idea, since things are kind of merging, that we merge. Hey? Now, if we could find someone from the Feywild, then we'd have a nice little party.
So, Taslin, you say your name is.
That's correct.
So, how you feeling about the Nine Hells?
Haven't been there personally. I have heard only terrible things about it.
Because we be going there to get Allie. You know this, don't you?
Ali who?
The one that he's bringing you to so-called replace.
Oh, I would never think to replace your sweet Ali. This is a loner. As in, you can have him and bring him back, please.
So it's like a piece of property to your organization.
Not quite, more like
An
we are.
asset.
Yes, we are very invested in the survival of our relationship with the Shadakai.
Mhm. Okay, you'll have to forgive our trepidation. We've all been to the Shadowfell, and it was probably the worst thing that's ever happened to any of us. So,
Oh, I completely understand. I lived there for
mhm.
centuries.
So, Wampum looks to everybody. We not going to get Allie?
Not right now.
Why?
I don't think we're ready for that.
Yes, from what limited information I have about the Nine Hells, we would, if we struggled in the Shadowfell, the Nine Hells are not. There's not even anything.
But if we hopped and bopped around the elemental planes first and acquired all the gadgets that we need to do that, then we probably will be prepared for it. Because we want to survive too. Otherwise, what's the point?
I'm not liking not going to get Allie.
But if we die getting Allie, then we'll also be dead in the hells. And we won't be able to save anybody.
And we don't even know why she's there. She claims she didn't know when I talked to her, but she could lie. She lied a lot. She was a habitual liar. I heard her on 4 separate occasions give different names. We don't even know if we knew her real name at any point in time. She gave her life in the pursuit of a noble cause, despite, the ends, despite the fact that she wanted to get paid for it. And so that's worthy of some level of respect, sure, but as far as I'm concerned, it's not enough for me to potentially throw my life away before I resolve the original issue I set out on to complete.
All right, Elf. I just got to get my head around that we leaving Allie behind.
I know it's hard for you to understand most things.
I
But
don't think of
hopefully-
it as leaving her behind. I think of it as us intelligently moving towards her. Because her body isn't her.
All right, Nos. Okay.
It'll be all right.
Forgive us, Leosin. We just have some things to discuss amongst ourselves. But I just wanted to circle back. You said that there are 3 ships that you know of in the Bragandiath fleet.
Yes, which was weird to find out that Drow from the Underdark have a fleet. But considering the connections with Luskan, it makes sense that they would have some form of force up there. So, yes, those were the 3 ships we learned about.
We were given the name of a different ship.
You were.
A name, it was called Crestus Fatus.
Okay.
Do you know
I shall
anything
get
about
to
that?
work looking into that. I did not get that name.
Very well. Thanks, mate. Well, I think we have a few errands to run in the city proper. I understand we have lodgings here if we want to make use of them. Is that right?
Yes, you do. You can stay here for free for as long as you like until the world ends.
Let's
I
hope
need a
that's later.
bath. I need a bath, and I need a cask of Thunderbelly ale.
And where might we find Thunderbelly Ale?
You can import it.
From where?
Have your wizards work on it.
There's actually a place here that serves it. We found it during the festival. It's a pretty classy joint. It's a tavern in combination. I don't remember what it was called, though. Do you, Leocadio? It's where we found you.
I'll find it. There aren't many places in this town that I've not visited, so I'll find a Thunder Bottom Ale.
Thunderbelly.
Thunderbelly. Okay. Right.
Nice cask.
I'll get right to work on it.
I'm sure you will.
Okay.
Was there
And
anything
he'll
else?
scurry off.
Was there anything else we need from the Hoppers?
Not me.
So, are we about to R&R, or are we about to go off and do things?
Well, we need to talk to Belvedere. for
There
one.
is some things I'd like to do in the city. Teslin, have you been in Neverwinter long? Or before? Have you been to Neverwinter before?
Not very recently. A lot has changed since my last time here.
I hear there's a version of Neverwinter in the Shadowfell.
There is, though far less bright.
Have you spent much time there?
Oh, yes, I have.
Graham,
Yes.
just so you know, feel free to ask me for any information you feel like you might need, rather than trying to make it up on the spot.
All right.
Just if you feel like you would like to ask stuff, feel free. But yes,
Sure.
you've spent plenty of time visiting Evernight. People don't stay in Evernight, the city. What with the active volcano, the lava river, and the undead roaming the streets. So,
Ooh, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot going on.
I was always curious, not always, recently curious about how commerce works in the Shadowfell. Like, if you could leave, why wouldn't you? It seems like a terrible place to be. Do you buy things? How does that work?
No matter where you are, people will buy things. Yes, leaving the Shadowfell is quite a vacation. The negative energy of the Shadowfell more or less drains on one. So when we are given the chance to leave for however little or long time, it is refreshing.
So, like, this is a vacation for you.
Yes and no. Work mostly.
too much time, because you've spent centuries having your senses dulled. Too much time in the material plane is like these guys spending too much time in the Feywild. It's a lot. So it just, all right, most of you. And so a lot of the reason why a lot of people from the Shadowfell don't leave is because it's what they're used to. It's home.
Right. Well, Taisley, you're welcome to join us if. And I look to the party, hoping I'm not being presumptuous. Uh, I think we need to. I'd like to sell that armor that we picked up off those knights who very rudely killed me in that Harper Tower, and then see if I could get the money from that to buy some potions, because and some other resources that I have been the main beneficiary of. So I'd like to see if we can do anything about that. Do you guys want to come with as I try to sell these things and buy these things?
If you're gonna go do that, then I'm gonna go with Leo. I'll point out the place to him.
Perfect.
I'll go with you. You always need advice from a dwarf.
I don't mind accompanying you.
I'll stay here.
Good.
He's right.
Well, can I borrow your bag? Because it's got the armor in it.
Of course. Yeah.
Thanks, mate.
Okay. So, you head off to one of the salesmen during the town. The market square within Neverwinter is kind of calming down after the festival that happened not long ago. You can still see evidence of the festival, streamers laying lazily on the side of the road, and a couple people still selling some festival gear. I went to the festival of Neverwinter, and all I got was this shawl or whatever. So you will be able to find a couple people still active, doing trade. The base price, the average that people are going to offer you for the armor, is half their purchase cost, which would then be $750 a piece. Are you going to haggle?
Aye.
Okay.
So
Then roll a persuasion check.
so whoever I'm talking to, say, my mate, he was here just a few weeks ago, not here specifically, but in Neverwinter, and purchased a suit of plate armor. I think it was about 1,500 gold pieces. I have 2 sets of plate armor. These babies, and I slap on them. They can block so many hits, and if you could sell them for 1,500 a piece, and I'd be happy to part with them for 1,200 a piece. That'll give you 300 gold profit a piece. I think that's a great deal in your favor. I roll a 26.
Okay. Excuse me, sorry about the dogs. They're a little. It's quite. We can.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. Well, that you make a good point, but you must understand. Not a lot of people have 1,500 gold, and a lot of the time, people will. Look, plate armor will sit in my window for a while. It'll stay there. I won't be able to sell it very easily. When I do finally sell it, people usually are very convincing and drop the price down below 1,500. I can't really go for 1,200, but what I can do is 900 a piece for you.
Well, let me say, the roads, they're not safe. Like when we were here last, we just took we were south of here like 2, maybe 3 days tops, and we were attacked. And like right after that, we were attacked again. I mean, you might have had plate armor sit on your shelves for a while in the past, but these days, I mean, people, they're going to be knocking down your door for plate armor like this, because it's rough out there, I tell you.
I'm sure it is, but 900 is the best I can do.
All right, well then I'll take your 900 apiece.
Okay, 1,800 gold pieces, and he takes the 2 sets of plate armor off you.
Right. Well, mate, since I have you, would you mind recommending like a place that sells spell components or like already combined components that are in the form of potions, that sort of thing?
1 second. Leans down, puts on a different cap. I can do the job for you. What do you need?
Fantastic. Well,
This cap is a pointy wizard's hat. Really putting on the show.
we, like I said, it's dangerous out there. So I could use with some potions that are good for healing.
A lot of potions are good for healing.
Do you have any?
I might happen to have one or two potions of, different viscosities, concentrations, maybe. Yeah, that's probably the best word. So I have 4 different levels of concentration of potions of healing. Which are you looking for?
I'd be interested in primarily the first and second levels of efficacy.
Okay. Well, for you, because I like you and you did give me some good quality armor. Potions of healing, just generic ones, the basic level is 50 gold apiece. And greater healing potions, just the ones that are just a little bit better than the normal, they'll be only 300 gold apiece.
So I didn't catch. Did everyone come with me, or did everyone go somewhere else?
I came with you.
Taslin and Wampum are the only ones with you.
So I'm not quite.
Nelson Leosin went to a tavern.
I'm not quite sure if I'm getting the best price. So I'd like to both check my memory or insight into whether this guy's trying to rip me off, and I'll also look over to Wampum to see what he says. Does that seem like
Roll an
Wampum-
insight check.
Insight.
Okay. So, Wampum, you are able to kind of figure he's trying to get a bit more, like, it's not an outlandish price, but it's also probably at the top of the range.
What do you think, Mike? Is that the right price?
Nah, he be high, and Wampum will say this in a louder tone. Nah, mate, he be high.
Business is business, and I must make a profit. It's hard work crafting these things.
And Wampum will turn to him and like hold up his hand and say like, Cardio. Ye done got stolen off the armor. Don't get stolen off the potions.
I am here. Excuse me.
As they're doing this, Taslin's just like wandering around. I'm like wandering around the shop, looking at all the stuff to buy that he has out for wares. Looking if there's anything of better quality or something that he has out for sale that may or may not be lowballed. I don't know if he has like the prices there, like little plaques.
Okay. I have no idea what you're looking for.
Okay, I'm just looking for.
I mean, you're looking for
good
stuff with prices.
Yeah, I'm looking for anything that may be labeled for less than its actual value. I can roll like an investigation check, or
give me a moment to keep going with what's already started.
Okay.
Well, mate, if you think these plate armors are going to just sit on your shelf, surely no one's going to be buying these potions either. I'll take them off you. I'll take the lesser ones off you for 30 gold apiece, and I'll take the greater ones off you for 300 gold apiece.
Deal on the greater, because that's the price I gave you, 300 apiece.
Did he? I misremembered then.
But on the roll of persuasion check for the generic ones, because it cost me 25 gold worth of components plus a full day's worth of work just to craft one potion. If I do it for 30, I'm actually losing money on these potions. So how about this? I can give you them for 45 apiece, And if you buy, for every 5 you buy, I'll take off an extra 5 on top of that.
Well, I'm also in the market for some diamond dust, or some diamonds in general, but pots of diamonds, whole diamonds, small diamonds, dusty diamonds.
Strange thing is, diamonds are really rare. Really valuable. Unfortunately, I don't have any diamonds myself.
So no diamonds. All right. Well, then
Lefcardio, I say we go to an actual apothecary.
well, I don't want to be running around Neverwinter all day. It's like,
No,
mate,
but I'm sure we can find better prices.
how much for 6 of the regular potions of healing?
Okay, so it would be 45 times 5 for the 5, but you're getting 6, and because you bought, oh, no, that's terrible.
Taslin will also like hand 100 gold to Lefcardio.
But because you're purchasing 5, he'll take off 5 more off of that, so 265 gold for the 5 potions of healing, 300 per greater healing potion.
All right, I'll just take the 6.
Okay, there you go. Pleasure doing business with you. He hands you these tiny, like, vertical test tubes with little potion vials in them. Potions in them. Okay.
All right. Well,
Now, yeah, go
I'll
ahead.
just mention to Wampum. We'll be on the lookout for potions from other places, but I didn't want to leave empty-handed. And I hand 3 of the potions to Wampum. It's like, I'm sure I've drinking more of these from your stock than anyone else's. So here you go, mate.
I appreciate it, but they be here for you to use. You know that, right?
Hopefully, I'll use less going forward.
So, Taslin,
Yes.
you're looking specifically for things that may be of better quality than they are priced for.
Yes.
Does your background have anything involved with merchant trade or appraisals?
Not at all.
Okay, roll a perception check. What is, do you want to roll a perception?
It's a 13.
13. You have absolutely no idea how much any of this is worth. The material plane has prices of its own, apparently, that don't make sense to you. And you're still trying to get the coinage down. So, unfortunately, you don't see anything that strikes you as more valuable than the guy is selling it for.
Perfect. So after staring at like the same piece of armor for like a good solid 4 minutes, going, yeah, I go over to Lafcadio and I hand him the 100 gold, and I just kind of lean in really close and I go, I don't really understand how currency works here.
Oh, well, yeah. So, currency has value. Things you want have value. You exchange, and hopefully you don't.
I understand the general idea, but things here may or may not be more valuable or less valuable than they are in the shadow.
Makes sense. Is there anything you're looking for?
Not at the moment, but I'll let you know if I do.
All right. Well, I'm happy to hold on to your gold. If you find anything you like, let me know, and I'll see. Like, I don't know the prices of everything myself, so sometimes any of us will be helpful, I'm sure.
Marvelous.
I want to send Lefcardio, just while they're out real quick. I just don't know, my gold is in the bag. Need 100 gold worth jeweled eye or glass eye or something. I'll say the specific component I need, but it's worth 100 gold and it's a glass eye or something, so I can cast clairvoyance.
Okay.
So I'll receive the message. Can I ask the guy before I respond to the message?
Does sending say may immediately respond?
Yep, it does.
Then no, you can't.
Say, all right, mate. I'll see if they got it.
I say thanks out loud, but he can't hear me.
I feel like he said thanks after I said that. I'm sorry. Right before I was about to head out the door, but I just received a message. One more thing. Do you have any baubles made of glass, particularly about the ocular size? A glass eye, perhaps?
Takes off the wizard's hat, puts on one of those glass monocles with for appraisal. I might just have a few things. You want a glass eye? Out of curiosity, any particular species?
I guess a species that's not so big that the eye would be of an extravagant price. So
Well,
let's go with
what-
humanoid.
Humanoid. But there are certain more like yourself, good sir, who is more feline and vertical pupils than other kinds of that are more all black, all white.
Well, I
Would
do.
you like one with red iris? Would you like one with blue? Like, we can get really creative with this.
Well, if you have such an extravagant collection and supply of eyes, yeah, I find the feline eye to be the most fetching. So if you have any of those,
I do indeed. I have plenty of feline eyes. Got them crafted in just recently. And for you, as a feline, our special price, 150 gold, done.
can I see the eye?
As long as you don't touch it, you're fine.
So hands behind my back. It's like, do I have any idea if this eye is worth at least 100 gold pieces?
Do you in any way in your background
Nope.
have anything to do with appraisals? Then you have no idea.
I have
It's
no
nice, it looks
experience
good.
buying eyes.
Yep.
Uh,
It's definitely glass. That's at least something.
it's a really nice eye, but I think maybe too rich for my blood. Do you have anything a little less nice?
I do. I mean, I have just a generic human eye. It's 70 gold pieces.
Do you have anything right in the middle?
Yes. Yes, I do. Okay.
So
He'll
I don't
go
have
down
any-
underneath his table and then pull out one of those little jewelry trays, but it's got a whole bunch of just rows of eyeballs. On that row, bunch of different kinds of creatures that you can see. One even looks like it's mechanical, where the iris is actually made out of a screw gear or a bolt. That's what I'm thinking of, not a gear. You see all different colors. He grabs a red one that is clear glass, but the pupil and iris is just bright red. This, 100 gold pieces.
Okay, so I don't have any experience with buying eyeballs, but I do have experience with people trying to get one over on me. So can I do an insight check to see if he's trying to just rob me blind?
Yes, roll an insight check.
Natural 1.
That is a brilliant deal. You
All
have
right.
no idea whether or not it's a good one or a bad one.
That looks like a good one. I'll take it.
Okay. Anything else I can do for you? Fine fellows.
Lafcadio, let's get out of here.
It has been a pleasure, sir.
Thanks, mate.
Okay. So you guys head off. Where are you going next within the bustling city of Neverwinter?
You probably meet back with Kale so that we can all go to catch up with Nos where she is at some bar with some Harper guy.
Okay.
With some Harper hottie.
Fair enough. So, Lafcadia, you're carrying a bag of holding, right?
Yep.
Yep. Looks like a bag of holding.
Good.
Okay. Roll a perception check as you guys are moving through the busy streets of Neverwinter.
11.
Okay. Passive is 14, right?
Yes.
There is a moment where you hear a loud crashing sound as it would appear a cut purse slit the bag and all of its contents fall out into the street. People then scatter and you see little people, kids, urchins, suddenly just tear off in all different directions. All of the belongings that are inside the bag have spilled out onto the floor. What's in the bag of holding?
I grab all of it.
Kale?
So there was all my diamonds and my diamond dust and my ruby dust and the horse trinkets I got from Allie and a potion of greater healing and a bronze figurine of a griffin and 360 gold.
So, Teo, you said the children were running down alleys?
Yeah, they all just split, turned down different directions, and just ran away. But the crowd sort of separated when all of those diamonds just hit the floor.
Yeah.
Rubies,
So,
gold. What do you guys do?
Would I be able to... So is it the item still on the ground near us, for the most part?
Well, yeah, they're right
okay.
underneath the bag of holding.
Okay, I am going to pull out my web of wands, and if any person that's not Wampum or Lefcadio goes for it, I'm going to web all of the items to the ground.
The wand of web?
Yeah.
Web of wand.
Ah!
Okay. So,
I start grabbing everything as much as I can grab.
Lefcadio's grabbing as much as he possibly can.
So I should
roll a perception check. Yep.
All right. Where's my perception?
Wampum, did you see who did that? I gotta grab all this stuff.
That's a 24.
So, you do see a couple people start going down for some of the items that are on the floor. Little old man reaching out to get the horse trinkets.
Wow.
He gets hit with a wonder web.
Well, I'm shooting the items before you grab them.
Oh, you're
So
shooting the items
so
with
it's
web.
webbing them to the ground so no one can take them.
Right, okay, so you're not assaulting citizens.
No.
Good. Just had to clarify that. Okay.
So I point my wand and I just go, Arakata! And
Excuse you. Sorry. I was just trying to help you
Of course.
gather everything. It's such a shame that stuff has fallen out like that. It's damn dirty thieves and all that. A couple of the bystanders, you can see out the corner of their eye, they're staring. A couple people have walked past, but there are a couple that are sticking around. What are you guys going to do? I mean, you're scurrying and you're grabbing everything, but do you have a
Walk
bag
on,
enough
old
to hold
man.
them?
Walk on.
This one charge gone. I will kind of pick up the smaller items that I can and put them in my bag.
If you split all of the belongings that you have, you should be able to move them to the bag, move them to amongst you, and you can gather stuff. But how many of you, like which of you, actually knew what was supposed to be in the bag?
Well, everything on the ground is what was supposed to be in the bag.
Fair game.
Okay. So everything on the ground, you grab it, you take hold of it, and where do you go with it?
Well, so I put everything that I could grab into my bag, and I presume everyone does the same. And then we will continue on the way to towards Kale, unless Wampum saw who did it, because I didn't see who did it, apparently.
My passive perception was a 22.
22. That would that's a pretty high perception. So in the busy street, of the 5 children that tore off, you did manage to notice one of them get a little bit closer to you guys there was a flash of something silver before the bag was slit, and you can follow that child. It did head off down some alleys towards the which section? Towards the Tower District, away from the Market Square.
I got him, and I'm gonna start running off after him.
Okay. What's your movement speed?
25.
Okay. To be able to track the child as the child is running through the streets, what are you going to be doing?
Well, point him out. I can run real quick.
And I'm gonna describe the kid.
Okay. He's disappeared from view by the time you're actually looking to Lafcadio to follow him after grabbing all of the stuff and putting it into your bags. So how are you going to track down this child? You know the general direction he went. You know the general look of him.
Oh. I'm going to head down the way that he went, and I'm going to use insight to see if anybody else is paying attention of where the kid ran. They're tilting their heads forward, watching somebody run by, or if anybody's reacting, or if anybody's showing me where he's going as I'm running by.
All right, go ahead and roll insight. Okay. You run down this particular alley. It's a tight space. It's very well covered by some of the canopies that are coming out of the side of these buildings. And underneath some shadows, there are some dark-looking clothes, like robed and hidden individuals, hooded cloaks and all of that stuff. Proper, like, stereotypical, thief, criminal. They start giving you directions. 3 of them give you 3 different directions. One leads you down to the right. One says down the alley to the left. Another says, I actually saw, or at least seems to be pointing towards the sewer grate right next to him. Just kind of.
I'll turn to the cardio. Sewer grate. And I'll walk over and I'll lift the sewer grate up.
Okay. There's a ladder that drops down. At the bottom, about 20 foot down the ladder, you can see a slight flowing pile of sewage as it makes its way through the tunnels and the sewage pipes below the city of Neverwinter. It's dark in there. Roll a perception check.
I would crawl halfway down, and if I see like the water being like ripples of someone has passed, I guess that would be what I would be looking for.
An 18 on perception.
15.
Yeah. Okay. You will hear the splashing of footsteps through the water down the sewer, just ahead of you. Pretty heavy footsteps, large enough to assume a small humanoid is running through the sewage.
All right, I'm going after him, and I book it.
I'm a coming.
Tazlin, what are you doing going all this?
So while they have set off, Tazlin was loading it in, and then he sees Wampum run off after someone. Then Lafcadio runs off, and Tazlin just is standing there like. And so then I remember that I saw some of the people running the other alleyways. I'm going to slowly make my way down one of the other alleyways that they have not gone down.
Okay, fair enough. All right, then, so Wampum and Lafcadio start tearing off through the sewers to try and catch up to this child. And Lafcadio can. The child isn't as quick as a full-grown feline. So And Lafcadio begins to catch up, the sound of footprints getting louder amidst the echoing sound within the tight tunnels. There's no light, so obviously you're limited to dark vision. These children that you saw were human, which strikes as, how did the children be able to see in this particular environment? But then the footsteps stop suddenly, and you're really close to them. They stop. You hear them around a corner as a tunnel breaks off, and the footsteps stop. You crest around, and you can see a little child, probably about 9 or 10 years old-ish, young male, short hair, light skin, at least the shade is light, through your dark vision, which you have dark vision, right?
Yep.
Yeah, both of you do. Yeah. But the child is currently being held on the arms and shoulder by 3 tall male individuals. They look a bit gruff, dirty clothes, ragged cloth, and all of them look right up towards you as you crest around the corner. Hey, seems to be your problem, mate.
I have business with that little one. Hand him over.
Yeah? Little one belongs to us. What business you have with him, you got with us. What is it?
He took something that belongs to me.
Well, okay. What did he take?
I mean to find that out.
So, you don't know what he took? How about you tell us what he took? We'll search the boy. And if he's got it, then you can have it.
All right. Who am I talking to?
So 3 individuals. The middle one is a little bit taller, thinner. The 2 by the side look like stereotypical kind of sidekick, gruff individuals, wide-brimmed shoulders, effectively maybe a 6. We'll say about 6 foot tall version of wampum. On either side of this guy, but their rags seem to suggest pretty poor upbringing. They don't seem like high-class adventurers. Their equipment doesn't look good quality, and the guy that's talking to you is definitely half-elf, as one ear is pointy, the other ear is missing.
But I get the sense that the guy who's doing the talking is the spokesperson for the group.
Yes, more or less. You kind of get a sense that he is in charge of these 3.
Just real quick, when you say half elf,
I don't mean that his missing ear means like one half. That's not what I mean.
Just wanted to be clear.
He has the facial features that seem to suggest he blends between human and elf.
Of course.
Which ear's missing?
But
Is left
he is
or is
missing
right?
an ear.
All right. Well, I'm gonna cast suggestion on the fella who's talking. I said, "Listen, mate, we don't want to hurt anyone. I had some quite a valuable item that has been ruined, and now I have missing items. I don't want to hurt anyone. It would be if just cooperate with us, and no one's gonna get hurt." Okay, suggestion. And my DC is 18.
Okay. He rolls a 17. So, all right. Fine. Look, boy, give us everything you got. And the boy starts handing over stuff. He'll then hold out a little bag that has in it a diamond, a pouch that looks like a coin pouch, and as well as all of that, 2 cylindrical tubes. They look leather-bound, dark leather, tied with a string around them quite tightly. very ornate looking. Which one of these is yours?
Well, I know that in this bag that was ripped, I had a diamond and some gold. So I reckon that diamond and that pouch belong to me. Those wound up bits, I don't know what those are. Those don't belong to us.
All right. He will give you the diamond and the gold. He'll take the two things. Are we done here? Is that okay?
I look to Wampum.
Yeah, we don't need to hurt nobody.
All right. So you'll leave. You get back all of the things that you have, minus the bag of holding, which is damaged. But the bag of coin wasn't actually yours. So you are up 300 gold. But down a bag of holding. Okay.
All right, we'll continue. I guess we'll come out and we'll see if we can find Taslin, and then continue back to the Harper HQ.
So Taslin walked down a different alley.
Yes, I do.
So, why?
Taslin was going to take a much more investigative approach of where the children were going, assuming they were all going to meet up at the same place. He wasn't taking off at a run. He was just kind of slowly stalking this child. So he makes it down the alleyway, and I'm assuming that I have no survival skills whatsoever and couldn't track them. So I got like halfway down the alleyway and I was like, and then turned back and went back to where the bag holding was ripped and just kind of wait.
Roll a survival check.
Never mind.
23. Okay. At first, you struggle to find your way back the way you would have came. This is a new place, it's a different environment, so it's difficult to find your way. Eventually, you will find your spot back where the web still kind of clings to the pavement, outside the man's shop, who's busy right now. And about that same time, that would be probably when Lafcadio and Wampum make their way back towards that spot where they had left you. So you meet up nice and conveniently.
Did you find it?
I think so. We'll check with Kale, because I don't know everything that was in the bag. But I've got a ripped bag of holding. Are you a spellcaster of any sort?
Yes, I'm a wizard, but I don't think I can repair a bag of holding.
Well, that's unfortunate. Right, well, let's head back to the Harper HQ.
Okay. So, during all of this, Nos, you take Leosin to the bar. He gets a big cask of Thunderbelly Ale. The two of you share it, and then he buys another one, and then heads back. Sound good?
So we both drank a whole cask of Thunderbelly Ale. I'm cool with that. Just want to clarify.
Absolutely. This guy can hold it.
Okay.
Okay. And then head back to the Harper HQ with an extra cask of ale. A little bit tipsy, but he was kind of a weird guy anyway, so it's difficult to really tell with him, with his accent that did slip in and out quite frequently. Anyway, so he'll stumble in, give you guys the cask of ale. Is there anything else that I can give gets for you?
That ale's some good stuff, ain't it?
Yeah, we partook.
We partook.
Then we
That is a
partook
good
some
word.
more.
Yes. I dip my non-existent hat to you, Mr. Thunderbelly, for a ale well done.
Aye. So, give me mine.
Okay. You got a full cask ready right there.
And
Right.
I'm gonna look at one of the barmaids.
So there's Harper agents and assistants, probably more like interns, to be honest, would probably come and actually tend to your every whim and need, and they'll get you a bath.
Okay.
Kale, you look through all the stuff, confirm everything's there, and you now have an extra 300 gold.
Oh. But we don't have a bag of holding.
No.
Leosin asked if he could get us anything else. Can you get us another bag of holding?
I
Teo,
have
real-
been to the other one.
It broke, I guess. I'm not keen on all the details.
There was a gang of cut pusses. A child apparently ripped the bag trying to get access to its contents. We chased them down and got the items back, but
I've seen you. I've been with you for a while now. We survived the Feywild. We survived the Shadowfell. We survived a vampire holding a tower, and a child snuck up on you and ruined probably one of our most valuable items.
that's right, Mike.
Now, real quick,
Wow.
before anyone comments and makes mention, I know that strictly speaking, according to the rules, if a bag of holding is torn and pierced, all the items actually go to the astral plane. I'm not that cruel, so that's why it dropped to the material plane.
Teo, do I have a signet ring for the teleportation circle?
No, they didn't give it to you.
Okay.
They don't trust you that much.
Perfect.
But the signet ring isn't necessary to work
Okay.
the teleportation circle. It's necessary to indicate to other Harpers that you have a right to use it.
Okay. Great. Well, at least we got all the things back. So that's.
I'll find one, but bags of holding are expensive.
How expensive?
Oh, 100 gold pieces, apparently.
Well,
I'll go ahead. If it be 100 gold,
You can use the 100 gold that I gave Lafcadio.
So he'll take the 100 gold that you'd given to Lafcadio, and we'll come back later with a new bag of holding. I rolled bad on that.
you did.
And before I forget, mates, I sold the armor. I got some potions. They didn't have any diamond bits, but what we have left from the armor, I'll give 350 to Kale, Nos, and Wampum each, and a potion to Kale and Nos. The regular potions.
Thank you.
Kale, roll an investigation check on the components purchased.
30.
Okay. The glass eye that was purchased, the seller upsells. I mean, he's got to make a profit. So its actual arcane worth is not 100 gold.
Okay. Hold it up and inspect it and around a little bit, but then I'll say thank you, Lafcadio. I appreciate it.
It's really nice. There's some other ones too, but this one real nice.
Yeah, I'm sure it did.
The guy seemed super honest too. So
Well, you are a brilliant judge of character, so good work. And I'll put it away and intend to go find one later myself.
Okay.
I'm just like thinking, like, God, I have to do everything myself. I can't let these guys do anything without me being there. They don't know anything. Stupid party. We're
So,
supposed to
speaking of
save the
party, what are you guys up to? You have
I
a
will-
cask of ale.
I will sit down. I'm assuming there's chairs all around.
Nope, standing room only.
Standing room only. Okay. I
Yes, there are
will.
chairs.
I will sit down and I will talk to Lefcadio. So, tell me, how did your friend die?
Well, the Hoppers have this tower in a city called Loudwater, and that tower was being had been taken over by this vampire, and Allie died valiantly battling the foe.
I see. I am sorry for your loss.
We
That
intend
is-
to get it back, as Wampum made mention of. So it's not so much of a loss. It's just a momentary departure. She'll be right back.
And she's being held by devils?
That's what Kale got the impression of. Kale messaged her on after she resisted our attempt to bring her back from the dead, and she indicated that she was on the hell called Avernus and a prisoner of whoever runs that foul plane level.
Dale, can I make an Arcana check? Can sending messages be received by powerful creatures and interrupted or like intercepted?
Roll an Arcana check.
That would be a 28.
Okay. It's certainly possible. The examples that you know of specifically are typically, or especially, examples within the demi-planes within the Shadowfell. Inside the Shadowfell, it's more common for a dark creature to create its own little world. And while it's got full control over the world that it's in, it has full control over all the magics that are inside as well, because it's their power that kind of feeds everything that is capable inside there. Whether or not this would work for a creature within the nine hells within Avernus, you don't know how that particular layer of the hells really works. You don't have experience with the nine hells. But it's possible that if a being has enough power to control a demiplane, then they could intercept any communication that goes in and out of that demiplane.
Okay, so I would explain that to Lefcadio. And could it be possible that she's simply luring you all into a trap? Had this Allie died before?
I don't think she had, and it seems unlikely that she'd lure us into a trap knowingly, anyway. But we don't intend to go in there blindly. Kale's awful smart, and he'll probably figure out all we need to do in order to get there with the minimal amount of risk.
And I do apologize if I ask too many questions, but I like to know those who I'm traveling with, and I, to be honest, know nothing about all of you. Could you tell me briefly about all of you, just so I know how to prepare my spells better to not, say, blow you up into smithereens with a fireball?
Well, Wampum the dwarf and Nos the hobgoblin, they're mighty fighters, and they haven't met anyone who could match their prowess in fighting. Kale and I less so. I I dabble with some healing, so from time to time I can help in a scrap like that. And Kale, he he's just really generally impressive with the things he knows and the things he can do. Like he like talks to the god with the eye. I think Dania is his name. He's like they're like BFFs. They're like talking on the phone, talking on whatever means of
Like a
people.
Ascendants.
Sure, like that. Yeah, he's always chatting him up. So clearly, I mean, he's impressive just to me, but also to the gods as well. So
Then we should be in good hands.
I think so.
Is there anything any of you would like to know to me? I kind of raise my voice so.
You say you're a wizard?
Correct.
Do you specialize in any particular school of magic?
I do. I specialize in the manipulation of life and negative energy.
Oh, great. You say you've been to the surface before, or I should surface. You've been
Material.
away from the Shadowfell before?
Yeah.
Never for an extended period of time.
So you're not well versed in interplanar travel. Okay. I don't know. Where in the Shadowfell did you reside again?
Let's see, I have this written down. I am from all over. I would prefer not to talk about where I'm from in any large depth. It would be rather boring.
And you, like most Shatterkai, I imagine, count yourself among the subjects of the Raven Queen, correct?
Yes.
Mhm. Great. So, just to be clear, and you mentioned that you are centuries old.
Correct.
Do you know how many exactly? The exact number, days, hours, minutes? Years is fine.
After about 83 years, you stop counting.
Why 3? Why is that an odd number?
3. Okay. Well. So just to recap, you're from the Shadowfell. Your name is Tasselin.
Correct.
You're a necromancer in service to the Raven Queen, who doesn't want to talk about anything else about themselves.
I am hired help. If it pertains to my abilities to assist you in rescuing your ally and saving the planes, I am more than happy to discuss that. However, I do not know you well enough to discuss my personal experiences or history.
Great. Okay. I'm from Eltergard originally. It's a land abundant with sunlight. 2 suns there, and the Morning Lord's glory shines incandescently. So I imagine I'm from a land that's pretty not starch. What's the damn word I'm trying to...
Stark.
Stark. God damn.
Yep.
I'm from a land of pretty stark opposition to yours. However, Lefcadio failed to mention he's actually an explicitly chosen individual by his god. An avatar of Nabanyan literally removed us from the Shadowfell and spoke directly to him and told him that he was chosen to solve this interplanar issue.
That was a big kitty.
Yeah. So, of the members of this party, I would count him as the leader. And if he's fine with enlisting the aid of someone with what you got going on, then I defer to his judgment.
Well, I think we need a wizard. It's been, I think, clearly documented that this is a thing we were sorely lacking,
Mhm.
and not 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 to be contrarian, Kale, but I think Nabanian was expressing his disappointment at my performance, and less so telling me I was chosen to fix problems. And
I heard him. He said, only you can save the forest or something.
he said that we weren't doing it quick enough. So that's that's my takeaway. I remember that quite clearly. So I want to make sure that we we do stay on task. Uh, and speaking of that, uh, we do need to check in with Lord Belvedere. Um, are we in like a room, a separate room?
Yes, you have private guest quarters, which is mostly just bunks. That's all you really have in this space for you. But it's got enough bunks for 12 individuals. Looks like it's a more like a enough spaces for study also incorporated in there. So maybe some form of college or internship is performed within this room, dorms of that style. But it's only you in there. They've kind of cordoned the room off.
And does it have its own bath where Wampum has been bathing this whole time?
Absolutely.
Excellent.
They brought in a big old tub, bunch of water, and then a couple initiates had to then just keep heating the water while Wampum washed himself.
Is it very sudsy?
Wampum, do you bathe with soap?
Yes. You
Then
hear
yes.
you hear this coming out of the tub.
He's got like a
Quick
boombox in
before
there.
we have copyright issues.
So
The Song of the Sword Mountains. It's a good one.
so yeah, we need to chat up Lord Belvedere before too long. It looks like Wampum will be in good form. Nos, how are you feeling about talking to the Lord Protector of the city today?
Fantastic. I'm feeling, let's do things. Presently.
All right. Well, if the time of day permits, then I think we'll try to gain an audience with Lord Belvedere.
I'll send a messenger.
Great. Go.
I'll go right now. Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah. So he'll stand up and then walk out and go out. It'll be about 2 hours before another individual comes back. Not Leosin. Oh. I think I heard a siren, and
Right.
then the dogs went off.
Yeah. I like how when John gets up, the chair spins. It's kind of like the cartoon before they start running, their legs are going in place. So it's very.
I think of that chair as more like a villain type chair. Like with its position, we're not going to see him walk down the stairs, and suddenly he's going to turn and be in the chair.
You've been expecting me.
Hey, girl! All right. Anyways, so yeah, there will be a notary from the palace of Castle Never that will invite you for a private meeting with Lord Belvedere, and he'll take you into the castle, back into that hall, casual hall that you guys had been in previously. Comfy chairs, food and drink and all that as nibbles, though the Lord doesn't partake. It's just there off to the side, should you wish. He invites you to sit down. A blaring fire is roaring in the fireplace. And he just has a nice big smile on his face to see you back. So, how did it go?
Lord Belvedere, it's so great to see you. We've looked
It's a
forward to being
wonder
reunited.
To see you too. Yes, yes. Who's actually? Hold on a second. Who are you? And he points to Tesla.
Taslin Everill, at your service.
Why? I don't need your service. Why are you here?
I'm currently traveling with the party.
Oh.
Lord
What
Belvedere,
happened to the other one?
we had an unfortunate event befall us whilst we were returning to Neverwinter after we had successfully completed the mission in Silvery Moon. Our traveling companion, Allie, met her demise. Taslin's here to help us with the rest of our tasks and getting Allie back as well.
If these adventurers have accepted you, then I do too. Welcome, Taslin. I am Lord Belvedere,
A pleasure.
current Lord Protector of Neverwinter. So, it was a success, I hear, obviously. You, the children were safe. This is good.
Does that mean we're Thanes now?
Yes.
Woo!
Though, please, it doesn't mean you get away with anything in the city. Just means that you command a certain level of respect. I have certificates of honor prepared for each of you. Unfortunately, I don't have such for one that's new, as it was prepared for Ali. Or actually, what was the name that he gave her? Nika?
I think she said Nika, and then I think she said Ali.
Okay, so she did tell him her name was Ali. Okay. And he'll pull off these little scrolls. They're official documents that do say, by order of the House of Belvedere, Lord Protector of Neverwinter, the undernamed individual is provided the title of Thane of Neverwinter, with all its rights, privileges, and benefits associated, until the Lord Protector should see fit to denounce it.
Lord Belvedere, can you tell us exactly what this all entails? Like, I have the good feelings of accomplishing the task, and it surely would have been the right thing to do, even without the reward that you offered. But I would like to know what it exactly I am in possession of.
By accepting the title of Thane, you act as a representative of the city in all your activities, inside and outside of the city. Whilst inside the city, you are a representative of the castle. As such, your behavior is expected to be on a certain level of decorum. While it is at such a level, you can receive free room and board at any of the establishments within the city, and also a generous discount at most locations. While I encourage people to provide the lowest price they possibly can, I do understand they have to make some money. So the base price is still going to be somewhat above cost. Outside the city, you can act as my hand, so long as your behavior is in accordance with the accepted standards of the Lord's Alliance and Neverwinter.
How about a nice cape with with a design on the back of it that comes from Neverwinter?
You read my mind. I was gonna ask, do you have anyone that can emblazon the Neverwinter emblem on this cloak specifically?
On your cloak, or would you like one of the cloaks of the City Watch?
My cloak. This is a special cloak. See? She makes a pillow.
I can see about it. Give me a day or so, and perhaps someone will be able to do such a thing. As that cloak is clearly not a mundane cloak. Might take a little bit more finesse.
And what? See, I'm not looking for like the normal mundane guard cloaks. I want something with stature.
Okay. I want to make a dwarven joke about stature, but I shouldn't because the Lord Protector wouldn't. Okay, I shall have the house staff acquire some capes, according to your size, roughly, that should befit the symbol of Neverwinter. Typically they would be blue. I notice your cape is red. Do you mind if they make it blue?
You talking to me?
'Cause your cape is red, isn't it?
Yeah, but no, I want to keep my cape. I don't want a new cape. I just want someone to stamp some ink on the back of it, essentially. Not that difficult.
Okay, fine.
Are we gonna be here for a day? I don't think we are we?
Not clear yet. We don't know what our next move is.
All right.
But could you
what's the
get one
guard
for Allie
situation?
too? Because she will be back.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So, if you would like to give Lord Belvedere your cloak, he will hand it off to a maid, and they will get it. They will be able to get it done by tomorrow, sometime.
Okay.
In the
Yeah.
evening. It will be delivered to the Harper headquarters the next day.
I imagine even if we do go check out the ships, then we'll be here tomorrow at some point after that.
But what's the guard situation like where we're at right now with Lord Belvedere? Do you have guards around?
Yes. So at every entrance, next to every door, there are 2 guards currently posted. The room that you're in has 3 ways in. You've got a main door that you guys have come through. There is a side door that Lord Belvedere probably used, and then a servant's entrance. And those 3 doors all have guards posted on this side. 2 of them. You can only imagine how many guards are on the other side.
What I'm getting at, I want to cast a spell, and I know they weren't cool with that last time. So I'd like to try and sneakily cast a spell.
Okay. So which spell?
Detect evil and good.
Okay. What components does it need?
Doesn't need any components. It's verbal and somatic. I'm sorry.
Verbal and somatic.
Yeah.
Okay, so verbal and somatic. The somatic you can get if it was just somatic components, then you'd be able to do it with just a sleight of hand. But because you have to mutter verbal components mixed in with everything else, it means you need to roll a stealth check to do so quietly, under your breath, while other people are talking, without people noticing.
Now, before I do that, can I use my channel divinity to give myself proficiency in stealth?
Does your channel divinity require any sort of verbal or somatic components?
Not that I'm aware of. It just says as an action you can do stuff.
Then absolutely you can.
Awesome. So I'm gonna just go ahead and do that. I'll just be like that would be
You should pull out a heavy dice.
That was my heaviest one. I rolled a 16 plus 7, so that'd be 23.
Okay. You are able to cast the Detect Evil and Good spell quietly enough that no one notices. There's a
Sweet.
slight little flicker of light, but then it disappears in an instant, and you have cast the spell. For the duration, you know if there is an aberration, celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead within 30 feet of you, as well as where the creature is located. Similarly,
Mhm.
you know if there is a place or object within 30 feet of you that has been magically consecrated or desecrated.
Yeah.
You do not sense any aberrations, elementals, fey, fiend, or undead.
Fine.
So you're good with that regard.
All right.
And the area, I believe, let me just double check.
I couldn't scry on this guy before. I don't like that.
Whereas, yeah, so this place has been consecrated.
Oh,
You can tell that much.
that's good.
Okay.
Okay. Just curious. Okay, so back to being in character. Lord Belgadere.
Yes.
Oh boy. Has he like gained weight? Because I don't remember him. No, I'm not gonna ask that. We got word that there is a ship in your harbor that belongs to a mercenary company. The ship goes by the name Hellraiser, I believe.
Mercenaries inside my city.
Well, in a harbor, or maybe out in the near the harbor somewhere.
Hmm.
And this is news to you?
My people deal with the minutiae of the city. I'm not aware. Now, I hate to say this, and he kind of leans in close. Good mercenaries or bad mercenaries?
Well, they're mostly drow, from what I've heard, so probably bad.
Oh. Okay. What, thank you for letting me know. I'll get to it, and I'll get rid of the ship.
I don't believe him. Can I insight check that?
Roll an insight check.
Oh, fuck. 16. No, 12.
12 in total?
Mhm.
You believe him.
Well, I don't believe him. I still don't believe him, but I don't get any insight as to whether or not I know if I'm right.
Yeah. I mean, there's no reason. You
Right.
have no reason to, like, no indication from him that seems to indicate that he's lying.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay. Well, you're welcome for letting you know.
Yes.
I'm surprised you hadn't heard about it. Okay. Well, anyway, we were actually gonna maybe look into that a little bit for you. Well, not for you, but we were gonna do it for other reasons, but we can do it for you too, since we're your Thanes and everything.
Right.
Yeah,
All
it would
right.
make sense that, like, we don't want to just get rid of them. We want to find out why they're here. You know, if they're up to any no good shenanigans.
Well, you know you can't trust an elf, especially a dark one.
I look around. I'm
Looks at
like,
the two. Well, before you get involved in it, would you mind if I had some people actually investigate it? Just to check the veracity of what you're saying, because as much as I appreciate and trust each of you, there have been times when someone has come to my city, told me about a danger I was not aware of, offered to take care of it for a fee. Turns out they were behind the whole thing, just trying to get some money off of me. I think they called themselves Grim or something.
Okay. Fine, but don't. What's the phrase criminals use? You didn't hear it from us.
I think the first time we've seen Kale wink, so probably the worst kind of wink. Uh, okay, why? Now that even makes things worse, now that I can't tell other people that I heard it from you.
Yes, well, we're trying to. It would be prudent, I think, for us to keep our identities secret from that organization as much as possible if we are going to be messing with them, because we have, as I said, we have our reasons for knowing about them, and doing stuff to and or around them. And if they don't know who we are, it'll be easier for us.
All right, fine. Now,
I'm surprised at your distrust, to be honest. I feel like we've done a lot for you.
I'm surprised at your distrust. I feel like I've done a lot for you.
Okay.
Lord Belvedere,
Yes.
we found the children in the Feywild, and it turned out that they might have been drawn into the Feywild to bring someone to solve a problem for them, namely a crystal that was drawing dark energies from the Shadowfell into the Feywild, which is weird. Well, then we also happened to go into the Shadowfell to find a similar crystal, and we had to destroy that as well. And we feel like that might have something to do with the shadow beasts that have been popping up all around Neverwinter.
Yes.
How is that going?
Well, they got particularly a nuisance. I was very close to issuing a curfew within the city, but then they stopped suddenly. All the portals that had been noticed closed themselves. My fireplace here, as you can see, it's burning, is the only one that's still active.
Oh, you have a portal to the Shadowfell in your fireplace.
Or at least it was when we lit the fire. I haven't dared turn off the fire just in case it's still open. I've had people come in to sanctify the place, to consecrate it, to cast all sorts of protections, but I'm honestly a little bit nervous. So I keep the fire burning just in case.
Well, while we here, why not find out?
Roll a persuasion check.
$17.
Okay. But please, be on your best guard. The last time this fire was off, a horrific, demonic creature broke through.
Well, I'm sure our new party member, you'd be able to tell immediately if there's a portal to Shadowfell happening there, right?
You never know.
Well, I'm asking you if you would know. You would never know. You're from there and you study magic.
Mm-hmm.
You would never know.
I mean, potentially, this is a relatively new fiasco with random portals all over that weren't pre-established.
Okay. Well, by all means, please check it out for us. I think you're the most qualified still.
Fair.
Okay.
And then, like, he does that. I'd like to stand back with Cadio.
Wampum turns to one of the guards. Get us some water.
I pull open or raise my hand, because before one Wampum calls that out, and I want to use the Ray of Frost cantrip and just kind of.
Okay. The fire goes out instantly.
Never
you see
mind.
Lord Belvedere step back for a second. Tentatively, he's genuinely frightened of the fireplace. But nothing comes out. Nothing jumps through. You look, you can see the evidence of creatures having broken through, as now that the fire has died down, you can see that the inside covered in claw marks and scrapes, and the fireplace looks terribly damaged. Doesn't look appropriate for the Lord's private sanctum, his office. But thankfully, there is no portal to the Shadowfell there that you can see. And the last time the party had witnessed a portal within a fireplace, it was almost immediately noticeable when it was under darkness. So it seems like it's safe for now.
All right. Being that Tazlin likes to be prepared, Tazlin will raise a hand, pull out his wand of secrets, whisper the usage word, and that he will use a charge on it to detect if there's a secret door or a trap within 30 feet of him, and it will pulse and point to the one nearest to me.
Okay. Yes, you get pulsed to a secret door.
Mm-hmm.
Other side of the room, though. It's one of the Lord's private secret doors into and out of this room.
Oh, okay.
Roll an Arcana check. Well,
Okay.
what's the result? I need you.
It's an 11.
Because our viewers don't get to see the rolls.
Oh,
Read it
yeah.
out. Okay. So an 11. I would say even with your vast knowledge of the arcane arts, you would be able to understand that secret doors and traps, portals to the Shadowfell wouldn't count.
Okay.
As a secret door or trap.
Yeah, I mean, I was just looking to see if maybe someone was smuggling them in from like a secret entrance beyond fireplace. I was making extra
right.
sure. Yeah,
Fair enough.
that's
But
what I
no,
was
you
trying
don't
to-
see a secret entrance beyond the door.
All right.
Is the portal still?
No, I kind of like flourish the wand and like shake out the little light on the end of it and stuff it back in its holster. I do believe it is safe, Your Lordship.
Oh, thank you. The kind of creature that broke through scared me. How a portal opened up specifically within this room also concerned me.
Can you describe the creature?
Large, probably close to 9 foot tall, arms long with pointed claws, skin was tight to its skeletal form, wrapped in a black shroud. It looked terrifying.
And what happened to it?
My men thankfully managed to subdue it and destroy it.
Can I do a check to see if I recognize the creature he's talking about?
History, religion, potentially, and arcana.
Okay, I'll do an
In this
arcana.
regard.
22.
Okay. Okay. So the party haven't encountered a creature like this before. You have, however, heard of the creature. It is a bone claw. What you know about bone claws are effectively someone attempted to become a lich and it failed, thus turning them into an undead creature that was becomes subservient to a particular master. With your 22, you would understand that when you destroy a bone claw, you do not ever actually destroy it. A bone claw is always subservient to some master. So if it was sent through with a purpose. And when the body is destroyed, it is then reformed within a certain distance of its master.
Your lordship, I believe that what tried to kill you was a bone claw. The remnants of a failed attempt at lichdom, usually subservient to another wizard. I believe it had a purpose here, and is not truly destroyed and may return.
Looks like that. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. But there's no way for it to get back in here, right?
Do they have any? Would I know if they had any innate abilities to?
They wouldn't have any.
Oh, okay. Not to buy that portal, however, if they were sent here with a purpose, they will reform with whoever is controlling it or near them. If he is on the material plane.
All right. Well, hopefully, when this place was sanctified and consecrated, that should be enough to hold any dark creatures back. I appreciate your input on this matter. You've earned my appreciation, Taslin.
You are too generous.
I am. Anyways, anything else I can do for you all?
I'm hungry.
Well, there's food. There's been food this whole time. Feel free.
Wampum will go sit down.
That's it for me.
Maybe a recommendation for an honest jeweler in town.
Honest jeweler? What do you
Well,
mean by honest jeweler?
Like someone who would respect the badge of thaneship that you issued to us.
Right. Okay. Well, yeah, so he'll call out a maid to come over with a pen and paper, and he'll write down a couple names of a couple individuals in town, 3 jewelers in particular, that you can go and visit.
Thank you, mate.
Just generic.
My lord.
Yeah.
Is one of them the guy that we already went to?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Right. So, anything else I can do for you, great adventurers?
Would you happen to have any
If you ask me for a magic item,
Oh, no.
you'll sound too much like the last person that joined.
I am not asking about that.
Okay.
I was looking to see if there was any place we could purchase things to copy into my spellbook.
The House of Knowledge.
Good to know.
Best place to go. Just on the other side of the river.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, we won't
So,
take any more of your precious time. Thanks, your lordship.
Wonderful. Okay. In terms of spell components, Ali, you are granted access, just by nature of being a spellcaster, to the House of Knowledge to be able to copy spells. You need to copy and actually expend the cost, and they won't provide you any materials. You have to use it yourself. But you only have access to the levels at which you can currently cast.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. All right. Then, as the party step out of the grand halls of Castle Never, back into the busy, quite cool streets of Neverwinter, we're going to take a 15-minute break. Join us in 15 minutes as our party continue to investigate the Hellraiser and the Drow, and maybe move forward from here. See you then.
Hold your bags close.
Welcome back after the break. Thank you for joining us once again, folks. So we rejoin the party, jumping in where we left off. The party are leaving Castle Never. They're out in the busy and bustling streets of the city of Neverwinter. So, are you going back to Harper HQ? Are you going to do other things? Are you going to go check out those reputable jewelers?
I'll do that thing.
Yeah.
I can come with. I'm really good at this sort of endeavor.
It's fine. I'll take care of it. It's no big deal.
But it's dangerous out here. You at least need someone to come with you to protect you in case of dangerous cut purses.
I'm sure I'll be fine. It's for Thanes and everything. I can get the guards to help me with anything that goes wrong. You've been out. You've done so much today already. I feel like, maybe you should just kick back a little bit.
So if you would like to go and now your skills are probably high enough that we don't really need to worry about a check. You can find and appraise a decent eyeball from a different seller.
Mm-hmm.
Glass eyes, somehow quite popular in Neverwinter. Who knew? Can
I trade in the one that I have, like for store credit, and get?
Yes, he will give you. So he will appraise it to see how much credit it's worth, and he will provide you 50 gold worth of credit towards any other item within the store.
Okay, yeah, I'm looking at.
And as you yourself appraise some of the other glass eyes, you will find a couple that are worth 100 gold pieces. Now, his normal selling price for those 100 gold piece worth items is 200 gold. And this is just generic what you find. They'll pull it down to you for 125.
So 125 minus 50.
Minus 50, so 75 gold taken away, and you can have that 100 gold worth of glass eye.
All right. I'd also like to ask, since there's so many glass eyes, first off, why are they so popular?
People have accidents a lot.
Okay. And follow-up question related to that: do you have any ear sats eyes, magical eyes that could serve as actual new eyes if someone loses an eye instead of just cosmetic stuff?
Yes, depends on the obviously the rarity of the item depends on the quality of the enchantments embedded within.
So I mean, what do you have? Do you have?
So we have just generic eyes that look and feel and act like normal eyes and will match the movement of your other eye. It allows a person to actually regain their depth perception. On even having a glass eye, you don't get to see through it, so your depth perception would be terrible. But having an active one does fix that. Those simple little things for only 200 gold pieces. Now, if you're willing to just increase your pledge to 800 gold pieces, you could get a glass eye that is capable of seeing all around you within a short distance. Basically giving you what could be considered blind sight to a radius of 15 feet.
But I'd have to rip an eyeball out.
Yes.
Yes. No, that's not the sort of thing I was looking for. I was just wondering, maybe for a contingency situation in case somebody, I lead a very dangerous life now, apparently. So it's possible someone I'm with might lose an eye, and I'd like to have a replacement for them just in case. Not this one, the one I just bought. This is different.
Okay, fair enough. Well, make sure you get, if you're looking for enchanted eyes, do make sure you get one from a reputable seller, because there are some enchanted eyes out there that they're pretty badly alternative, should you say, cursed.
Okay. Well, I mean, I was going to buy yours for 200.
Oh, well, of course.
As long as it's not cursed.
Not at all. Not a single thing in my story is cursed.
And
I identified everything myself.
Okay. And just to be clear, the Thane price is 200 gold pieces.
No, the Thane price. Oh, yes. Sorry. For the the Thane price for that, I would give it to you for 150.
Perfect.
Are
I
you
would
buying
take
an active glass eye?
I would like that and the other one for the 75 gold.
Okay,
The non-active one, so another 150.
that's good. So,
Perfect. I'm down with that.
okay. Now he would ask, would you like to make sure that the two eyes match in color?
No, that's not important at all.
Okay, fair enough. So
Thank
you got yourself a glass eye.
2.
2.
Great, perfect. That's all.
Okay.
That's all I wanted to do.
Then you regroup with everyone else. You guys, where you going? What you doing? Who you talking to? And how much will it cost?
How much time do we have before sundown?
Like 16 hours. Closer to like 12, but yeah, a lot.
Okay. I'll
I
spend.
say, let's go check out this Hellraiser.
You want to go to the boat?
That be me vote.
Daslin, were you saying something?
Well, I was going to go to this house of knowledge to perhaps copy a spell into my spell book. But if you wish to check out the boat, I will join you.
Right. Well, while we're walking to the boat, I wanted to have a chat. Wampum, Nos, I've been thinking about encounter in that Hopper Tower, or the gauntlet of encounters, and the stratagems that we might be able to employ in similar encounters in the future. And I'll admit that perhaps my running out into the open could have been problematic. It's possible that was ill-advised. I'll note that in the subsequent encounter, when I was all the way in the back, I was similarly surrounded by foes. So it seemed that whether or not I jumped out, I ended up surrounded both times. And Wampum and Nos, since you are clearly very experienced fighters, I'm wondering what when you go into a fight and you see fully armored folks and folks with vicious weapons, and then you see a guy just standing there in regular clothes, what do you think is the thing that you would attack?
The regular clothes.
Wampum, Nos, do you agree?
No, because out of our specific people with their specific talents and skill sets, I always go for the one that looks like it will hurt the most, knowing that it's possible that I'm the only one of us who can take that one down.
So you go
But-
for the folks who look most dangerous, and
Mhm.
Wampum, you go for the folks that look least protected. Is that right?
Well, the least protected ones usually mean that they be magic coming from them. And I's not worrying about any type of fighter, you see. But those magic users, taste can hurt.
So does my do I give off the aura or the idea that I'm a magic user? Is that
Yes.
Uh-huh.
all right? Well, now that I've got Allie's armor and I've got I can disguise myself at will. What do you think if I make myself look like I'm fully armored, like I'm a big beefy fighter type? Do you think that will lend to a different type of outcome in future encounters?
Until you get that magic coming off your fingertips.
Well, it's all about what happens first, right? Because
Correct.
once we're engaged, then things are a little bit more tangled.
I like what you're thinking. Let's give it a try.
All right. Well, then I'll change up my appearance. I'm gonna do like a double, in case someone dispels an illusion of some sort. I'll use the armor, the glamored studded leather armor, make it look like full plate, and then I'll make an illusion look like I also have full plate. I'm not sure which one is on top, but they're both there.
The illusion is on top. Okay.
Got it.
Cool. So, you.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. We're going to this ship. What are we gonna do when we get there?
So, just simply viewing the ship. So by the time you guys are walking in, it's worth getting a glimpse of the ship first. It is correct, as you suspected. It's not actually in the Neverwinter harbor. Now, Castle Never is right next to the docks, so it's real quick to get there. And just on the eastern side of the city, the river that cuts through opens up into the ocean. There are docks on either side, but the majority of the boats, like the main docks, are the southern side of the city. Okay, on the southern half. That's near the Hall of Justice, the Moonstone Mark, locations like that. The ship in question that you've been given a description of, and you can see Hellraiser painted on the side, is sailing about, I want to say about a good 1,000 feet or so off the city. So just outside of the city, that it's not actually within the jurisdiction of the city, but still within it, that it's not in the way of any sort of trade lines or shipping trails.
Is it anchored?
It's not moving, so you could assume as such. The ship is a long galley type boat, so long ship with raised platforms on either side, slight bow in the bottom where you can see crew running around. All of the crew, it's difficult to be able to see them from this distance, so you can't tell whether or not they're human or not. The Harpers had indicated that they didn't see any drow on the ship, but they didn't get anyone on board. The ship has 3 sails, central mast, which is the main, and then front and back simple one. So it's a large ship right there.
Is there any drow around the harbor itself?
Roll a perception check.
That would be just a plain old 12.
Looking around the harbor, there are,
It is a 22.
yeah, there is a lot of different kinds of people around here. No drow, oddly enough. You can see all different races, but you don't see any drow.
Gil, I'm not seeing many drow.
Well, I believe, weren't we told that the ship didn't have drow on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's to be expected, but if you guys want to continue to inspect the harbor, just, I'll take a look at the boat. And Kel will pull out his book, tap the cover, eye flares, cast Arcane Eye.
Okay.
Cast. So for an hour, I can move at 30 feet every 6 seconds. So just go all the way out to the boat and look around, unless they can see invisible things.
If ye guys want to walk around, I'll stay right here since Mr. K'll be blind for a little while.
Oh no, I'm not blind.
Oh, you're not?
No. I'm not deaf either.
Okay. So, you take a look at the boat. I do actually have a map prepared, courtesy of the Waterdeep Dragon Heist Adventure.
Neat.
Let me just pull it up and get rid of the dynamic lighting, because your Arcane Eye can while it's blocked by walls and doors and things, if it waits long enough, someone opens a door and you move on through. What you see before you is a map of the entire ship with its 3 layers. The base on the left, the slight raised, and then the final back end of the ship.
Let's count all these tokens real quick. 14.
Did you want all the tokens visible?
All the ones that are currently visible. Yep.
2, 3, 4, 5, 30, 31, 32. Almost done, everybody. 34.
So, Wampum,
Ah,
if I recall your backstory correctly, you came from Luskin a bit before we met, and you were hunting drow. Is that right?
hey, still is.
What do you think about? I mean, because it looks like that's our destination and our intended encounter. What are your thoughts going into this?
I'd be hoping to get some answers.
You said you have 2 people left on your list, right?
Actually, 3.
3.
Do we know that they're drow?
No, we don't. But the ones that I have, the names that I still have are Dangard Proudwater, Hackved, Marble Gaze, and Sabam Cog. Now, Sabam, I believe, would be drow.
Well, I will commit those names to my memory. That way, if I overhear anything, I'll be sure to let you know about it.
All right. So which layer is which here?
So, leftmost. Let's actually, you know what? I'm going to grab your Kale token
Sure.
from the other screen and do a quick walkthrough.
Please, yeah. What's the interesting stuff?
Give us the deeds.
Now, the arcane eye can't pass through walls unless they're open, so there are very limited details that you can get. But basically, you crest over the main deck onto here. Looking around, it's mostly sailors working, ship hands, constantly moving around, all human, all looking like your average sailors. They're communicating to one another in common as well. Your arcane eye doesn't give you any audio, though, does it?
No.
Only gives you visual.
So yeah, I wouldn't know.
So you wouldn't know. If you head up the stairs, either up here or adversely up there, you will end up on this next floor,
Mm-hmm.
which is where most of the rigging and the second mast is.
Okay.
And then you head up some more steps up to the actual wheel.
Mm-hmm.
What the actual word is, rudder, command, all of that is positioned. The captain's quarters are positioned directly beneath the that space. You can see captain's quarters over the top.
Okay.
The captain, as best as you can tell, looks human, but he is wearing a mask. Pretty solid, big golden mask over his face.
Okay.
His features seem to suggest he's a medium-sized humanoid. His wide-brimmed hat and facial features of the mask appear to be human, but when you get close, you realize it is, in fact, a mask.
Okay.
During a moment where the lower steps are open, you would head down to the main hold,
Mm-hmm.
which then goes down one more to here,
Mm-hmm.
and then to the final floor down here. Whereupon, while your arcane eye, which is invisible, is looking around, I need you to roll a perception check.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, roll a 20.
You roll a 20.
Plus more. Plus,
Okay.
I believe 6, so 26.
As you walk around the lowest hold, you notice there is another individual dressed identically to the person in the captain's cabin that seems to be behaving like the captain in the cabin. This guy looks identical, walks the same, seems the same sort of individual, but he's down at the lowest hold. Again, your arcane eye can't hear anything that he's saying to people, but periodically he gives instructions and commands to them. This bottom floor, you notice, is filled with suits of armor, piled up in crates all around this bottom.
What sort of armor? Like plate, half plate, scale?
Looks like, it varies. You've got a couple breastplates, you've got plates, chainmail. It looks like these guys are transporting armored goods.
Okay. Cargo. Got it.
They are transporting a lot more cargo, but you can't see inside the cargo, and they don't open the other things. These are just things that are open and out for people to see.
Okay. Anything else?
Nothing that really stands out passively. Is there anything in particular your eye would be looking for?
I'd be trying to get a count of how many crew members are on there. So I don't know can I actually see all these tokens?
You can actually see all of those tokens.
So I could see all the people in these cabins on the
Even in the
left?
cabins. Yep. Now,
Okay.
Those fellows don't look like crew so much as they look like entertainers, more or less.
Okay. So do they interact with each other
They're
at all?
dressed a little bit different. They every now and then they'll come out and they'll talk and they'll communicate, but you can't really can't tell what they're doing with them.
Okay. Can I actually get into the captain's cabin at all?
How quickly can you can just move it every 30 seconds. So I guess if you were every 6 seconds, sorry, so every turn you can move it as an action, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess if you were to instead wait outside, ready an action to move in as soon as the door opens, you could do that.
Yeah.
So you would do that at one point and you would get a view inside his cabin.
Cool. Are there any maps, charts, anything like that on the table to indicate where they're going or what they're doing?
Roll a perception check.
Sure. 25.
Yeah. So what you can see inside this room on his table, between this fellow that looks like a captain and his assistant, you see a lot of maps of the sea, the shipping lanes, all up and down the north, the Sword Coast. Particular points are marked out as major points of interest: Luskan, Neverwinter, Waterdeep, and somewhere far off to the west in the Sea of Luskan. You see just a point marked on the map.
Let's go. Okie dokie.
Okay.
Got it.
Kale, mate, what do you see?
All sorts of stuff. Let me gather all the information first. I'm a little distracted right now.
If you can, see if you can find any writings, correspondence, to see what language they're writing in.
Sure. Yeah.
You'd be able to tell that they're communicating in common.
Everything's in common?
Everything on the ship is in common.
Does the captain's cabin have any books or anything in it?
Does have a lot of books. You'll notice that it's quite a collection of mundane and basic books. Like someone has gone over the top trying to make sure that the bookcase looks boring. There's a book on mathematics, the world, nature, according to such and such a person. Volo's Guide to Monsters is there. It's just boring books.
I mean, that last one didn't sound so boring. Okay.
I love Volo's Guide, by the way. Please, I use it all the time. Don't think that I don't. Just making a dig at Volo. That's all.
Kind of rude, but okay. So aside from all that, so that was all in common as well, I imagine.
Yeah, all written in common.
And
Around his room, obviously, this is his sleeping quarters, so you can see the bed that's set up. The bed is perfectly neat. Okay?
Sure.
Like, hasn't been slept in at all.
Okay.
At the foot of the bed is a large chest, a huge locked trunk. The locked trunk has, particularly noticeable, the front of the lock seems to be a keyhole with an ornate flower design around the outside. And with your high perception, you're able to tell that that flower design is actually part of the locking mechanism. It's like a turn dial that's set up.
Okay. Neat. All right. Captain's cabin aside. Throughout the whole ship, are there any crew members of note? So there are the entertainers, there's the two captains, apparently, the captain's assistant. Is there anybody else that stands out at all, or is everybody else just look like regular deckhandy type people?
Insight check.
Sure. I think that's one of my expertises. Oh, no, it's not, but I do have proficiency. So 21.
21. Okay, there is one individual that never moves position. Everyone else kind of has tasks to do. They seem active. They seem to move around. There is one fellow that never moves, and that is on the lowest level. Always sat on a chair in the corner of the room. Always just like that.
Like, they don't move like they're paralyzed, like they're a statue, or are they just like kind of just they're sitting in one spot and not doing anything?
Roll an insight check.
Okay. 26. 27. 26? 26.
Still alive, definitely a living person, but they will not get off the chair. They'll have communications with people where they lean forward to see through the door, or they'll wave at someone and eventually they'll pull over someone will bring them something from across the room, but this individual does not move.
Is there anything special in the room?
What was your perception check before?
The last one was 25, I think.
6.
26. Okay.
It would appear as though there is a trapdoor below him.
Okay. And it's so this person is just like a dude, just some dude?
Just some dude sat on a chair on top of a trapdoor. Will not move off the trapdoor.
Sure. Okay. Well, I only have an hour, so I can't sit here forever looking for the trapdoor. I would like to. So this is kind of on the edge of the ship. It looks like. I'd like to go off the side of the ship and just go around to the outside and just look around the outside to see if there's anything in that general area.
Do you think the arcane eye could go underwater?
Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. I can look in every direction. It don't limit that far. It's solid. It only says a solid barrier blocks the eye's movement. So yeah, I don't see why not.
Yeah. So you could have the arcane eye do one big sweep of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Bottom of the boat, roughly where that person was sat,
mm-hmm.
There is what appears to be a trapdoor set with a large hooking mechanism just next to it.
Large hooking mechanism?
Yeah. So one big hook with a couple claws on the side and some restraints.
Does this so it's some sort of It's holding on to a thing?
It's not holding on to anything. It looks like one big claw is set up to the side of the boat, like underneath the boat.
Mm-hmm.
And looking at it, it's kind of like how a spring trap would be, in that if you pushed one side, the rest will lock into place.
Grab something. Okay. Cool. I think that would probably eat up my whole hour. So
Yeah, that would.
that is what I see. So, everybody, I saw approximately 34 crew members. There was a captain in the captain's board. They all seemed human or humanoid. There's a captain-looking person that's wearing a mask that looks humanoid and has like a fake beard and mustache too, which is crazy. It's weird. But apparently there's a doppelganger of the captain that was also wandering about the ship. And they have some sort of grabbing mechanism underneath the ship. Other than that, what else? They were transporting some armor, like a whole bunch of armor and some other stuff that probably wasn't that big a deal, or the DM would have mentioned it, maybe. And I did see a map that may indicate where we can find our target outside of Luskin.
So what are we supposed to get off of this ship?
Well, the Hoppers seem to think. Excuse me. The Hoppers seem to think that this ship belongs to Brigandierth. So maybe getting on board would be a good idea. Maybe we can, like, if we assume that they're part of Brigandierth, and we further assume that they have an interest in Luskin, maybe we can make an additional assumption that this ship will be going to Luskin. And if that's the case, maybe we could try to book passage upon it.
So I shouldn't have left my cloak.
Well, we can still go back to get your cloak.
Yes, I can gather more complete information a little bit later, and then we can come back another time tomorrow after you have your cloak back.
But do we, like, I guess Brigandierth is a dangerous group. So do we want to, like, obviously we don't want to cause trouble on the ship if we were to get on the ship.
Mm-hmm.
But should we conceal our identities, or like if we know for sure we're not going to get in any trouble, that's obviously not necessary. But
if we don't need, I'd say the only thing that we were looking for off of this ship would be the location of the main ship that we want to get to. And I'm pretty sure I saw a marking on a map that indicates where that is. I mean, we know it's near Luskin, or we were told it's near Luskin anyway. And I did see a marker on the map west of Luskin, out in the sea somewhere. So I'm going to make an educated guess, because I'm a highly educated individual, that the ship that we're looking for is in that general location. So really, I don't see any need for us to go onto the ship.
That's what I was just about to say, Mr. Gale. I must be as smart as you.
Must be.
So, if we don't need this ship, then we can just go to Luskin, you saying?
Yeah, pretty much.
See? I told you, Lafcadio, I smart too.
well,
Now,
it's a different question.
there might be something to be said of falsely joining this organization so that we can get passage on this ship specifically to where we want to go, but it seems to me to be a dangerous proposition.
All right. Well, then how should we get to Luskin? We have that boat that those folks on the Flying Castle was so good to give us.
Can we not just teleport there?
I don't think there's a Hopper circle in Luskin.
Mm-hmm. That was one of them.
Yeah, I think so. No, there's one.
Mirabar and Neverwinter. I don't believe it connects to Luskin.
We could take our Our boat, might as well. We have a boat.
We have that. We could just get horses and ride. Has anyone ever piloted a ship on the seas before? Would we need to get a crew or something? I don't know how boats work.
Allie said that she was trying to set a crew up for us. Trying to remember the guy's name.
Oh, I wrote that down. Gorbash?
Yeah, Gorbash.
Or Gorbash.
Is he in Nebowitzer or Luskin?
Luskin.
Well, we're trying to get to Luskin.
So when we got there, we could set up a boat and to get out into the ocean.
We could, although it depends on how far away our target is. Because we could approach a more stealthy route, which is that I could just have us all walk along the water. We could just creep out there. Much smaller, harder to see.
I don't think walking on water is going to be very stealthy.
Well, neither is riding a boat right up to them.
What about going under?
Maybe. Perhaps our new friend has the ability to allow everybody to breathe underwater.
That would be a great spell to have. Unfortunately, I don't have it today.
Well, maybe they have it at the House of Knowledge.
Do you have it at all? Or is it just you don't have it
I have
prepared for today?
I have the ritual for water breathing.
Oh, well then,
Oh.
yeah. You
Yeah.
can do whatever you want.
You can even do the water breathing ritual while you guys are breathing underwater. You can perpetually live underwater.
Let's see.
I hear it's better there.
I should have been a Triton.
Well, I do have a spell for water breathing.
Perfect. And it can affect all of us. And what about swimming? Does that help us to swim better? Because some of us are wearing heavy armor.
I can grant it up to about 10 people.
Okay. Does it also perhaps grant a swim speed, mechanically speaking? Because I don't remember.
It does not.
It does not, no.
Great.
That's okay. Me and Wampum can walk along the bottom, and then when we get there, we can get like a grappling hook up there and climb our way up.
Caribbean.
Us dwarves are excellent swimmers.
Heavy
Even
armor.
at full plate measure.
Just sink down. Sea turtles. That's what you need.
Okay. I could maybe, boy. We'll figure it out on the way. We've got time to think about this, about the approach to the ship. But just getting to Luskin, I see no reason why we couldn't either teleport to Mirabar, which might, I imagine, be a welcome respite for you, Wampum, at the very least. I know your family's up there, correct?
I can check in with me sister.
Yeah. And then we can ride from there, or we can take our boat. Either way.
I feel like Neverwinter is closer to Luskin than Mirabar. Although I don't know that
Probably.
for sure.
I don't know. I haven't spent much time in the north. I have no idea. But if that's the case, then my vote would be just to take our boat. And then I'm sure we could hire a crew or something to take us up there.
So we definitely want to hire a crew and not try to get on this other ship.
Correct. For me, I definitely don't want to go on the ship. Because as I said before, the longer they don't know who we are, the better, I think.
Should we try to get some other ship who's going to Luskin?
We have a ship now.
All right,
They would
well,
show up. We might show up on a manifest of some other boat, and they'd have to report that they had passengers and they were us. And there'd be, I don't want to leave a paper trail.
makes
You know what I
sense.
mean?
I like it.
Yeah.
So how many people are you going to look to hire?
Well, let's see how big the ship we need to make is. I mean, there's a pair of oars, an anchor, a mast, a lateen sail. How far away is Luskin? Nautically.
Nautical miles, 1 nautical mile.
That's
No,
it?
no, a lot more. It's about that far. No, let me pull up a map of the Sword Coast and just double check.
I'd reckon it's about 125 miles.
Something like that.
That's really fun.
So, you guys would be capable of getting there on boat in 2 days. On foot, closer to 4, 5.
So we should probably we should probably turn it into a ship instead of a boat.
Teslin,
Mhm.
the Hoppers have their teleportation network of teleportation circles. Do you have the ability to just teleport to other circles?
I do not currently know that spell.
I'm starting to think that the Harpers just dumped this useless guy on us.
Well, we got this. We got the water breathing. It's key. Not for this, for the other mission too.
You also tend to think that everybody's useless, so.
Good point, Nos.
Yes.
There's a difference between useless and ineffective. There's levels. But sure. Yeah, so if we were getting a ship, we would probably need a crew. And I'm sure there's rules somewhere that say how much crew you need and how much you'd have to pay them every day.
I believe the ship itself has details on it, the folding boat. That's what we need to see. So the large ship has a deck, rowing seats, 5 sets of oars, a steering or an anchor, a deck cabin, mast. The ship can hold 15 medium creatures comfortably.
Okay,
So no more than 15, including yourselves. The more people you have, the more capable your crew are going to be at manipulating the ship quickly and effectively. You could find yourselves a big crew that will be really reliable. They double check each other's knots and all that stuff. Or you can have a small crew that, doing a lot of things, might make mistakes.
Mm-hmm. So just to be clear, none of you have experience sailing at all?
I mean, I've been on a ship, but I wasn't navigating or captaining.
All right. So we probably need like a crew of 10.
Kale, you're good at everything. I'm surprised you don't have the ability to steer ship.
I can get the ability to steer a ship or know pretty much anything about working a ship for 10 minutes at a time. So I can quickly give instructions, very accurate instructions, or maybe quickly write out, instructions or plans that are very good and perfect, divinely inspired instructions. But then I'd have to hand them off to somebody to complete and interpret. So a crew of 10 would be ideal. I would say probably minimum of 5, just to make things run adequately smooth.
Well, since I'm a really good judge of character, maybe I should be in charge of interviewing potential crews.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. You should do that. I have some scrying to do. Well, I should probably go with you. I can help.
Taslin, while they do that, do you want to go visit the House of Knowledge?
I do.
It might be best if I am not around when you guys try to hire a crew.
Why is that, Nos?
Probably.
Because I am a hobgoblin.
And Taslin.
It deters people.
Taslin might be mistaken for Drow as well.
Maybe.
Opposite colors.
Now by now, Drow.
Well, most people are pretty stupid, so.
Okay, so Neverwinter, the docks in the city, just like you described earlier, they have various different taverns. One tavern that is quite boisterous and popular with the sailors is the Beached Leviathan. It is where most of the sailors tend to be hanging out, and after a quick investigation of talking to people, that's where you go to meet new crews and meet new people.
All right, so I will disguise myself as uh, borrowing from all the folks who are on the in and around the tavern and the harbor, so I look like a grizzled sea veteran.
Do you go with the peg leg?
Why not?
All right. So you look like you got a peg leg too. Just good. So, as Pirate Lafcadio steps into the Beach Leviathan, who's going with him? It's just Kale and Wampum?
Yes.
Okay. So, the three of you step in, and the place is heaving. It is packed to the brim. It's really difficult to be able to make your way past any chairs and tables, and at any one point in time, you're usually touching at least 3 other individuals as you're making your way through this big tavern. And the tavern itself, the Beach Leviathan, has 2 floors to it. Main floor that you're in, which is quite open, but lots of tables. The bar is off to the left side. Along the back, there is a set of stairs that leads up to an upper floor, just as busy. As you walk through, you notice someone fall off the top, hit into a table, drinks go flying, people cheer and laugh. He gets punched in the face and stays there. But no one really checks in on him. The people sat at the table then start using him to hold their mugs instead.
Wow.
It's a wonderful place.
I feel like Nos is really missing out. She'd probably like this a lot.
I like this place.
So, as you go in, obviously there are some barmaids, some wenches moving around. They're in very costume-like sailors' outfits with big red bandanas holding their hair back, striped T-shirts, and each of them are wearing eye patches, but most of them have it turned up so that it's not actually obscuring their vision. As you're walking through, they'll wave at you and kind of point you towards the bar if you want some service.
I will make my way to the bar and get the attention of the person behind the bar.
One of the wenches will step up towards you. All right, sir. What can I do for you?
Oi! We need 3 ales and a crew. Can you point me to some captains?
Is there any captains in here? Immediately, people turn around. Hey! Oh, Captain! There's a lot of people that shout out. There's quite a few behind you. What kind of group you looking for?
We got some landlubbers. We're ferrying up to Luskin. I need an experienced crew, 5 to 10.
All right. Well, I'll give you your drinks. Most people, if they're new to sailing, they deal with Benny's boys over there. And she'll point to the corner where she'll indicate there is a large troop of individuals that, while they look like sailors, they also look fairly uniformed. They look a little bit more organized than everyone else.
Benny's boys, you say?
Yeah, Benny's boys. Boys as in Bouy's, you know? Like, sea boys.
Going right over my head. Glad.
Fair enough, son. So, give you the ales.
I give you another one. I gotta. One more, please.
All right. That'll be 3 copper a tankard.
I got it.
All right.
All right. So I'll walk over to Benny's boys.
Okay.
As we're walking over, Lafcadio, maybe, I know the cat's kind of out of the bag now, as it were, but maybe don't be so forward about where we're going. And if you could, real quick, I know you're super creative, so you could do this. Just come up with a name for the ship, because someone's probably going to ask. Great.
So you head over to the back side of this room. It's a little bit darker, but you see these 6 individuals sat around a large table, 3 on each side in a booth, and on the table itself, huge map of the sea outside the Sword Coast. This is one of the first times you guys would have seen a map of the Sword Coast that doesn't actually include anything east of Neverwinter. This is just the water. It's got loads of islands all dotted around, and they're drawing all over it plans. As you step over, one of them will immediately stand up. Oh, there.
Oi! Which one of you is Benny?
Alas, none of us. We're just his boys.
Where can I find Benny? I need a crew.
Well, we heard that. We heard that. Look, we're called Benny's boys in honor of our previous captain, who, may his soul rest, fell in his duties.
What duties?
So, we were hired on to do a job for a group of folk, and their ship was a little unorthodox, and so Benny lost his life in their service.
What group of people?
Just a bunch of random folk. Don't need to worry about it. This was something close to 20-something years ago.
Okay.
Who's your new captain?
So, who be the captain?
So the captain that leads us, that's Anaroth. And he points to a fairly tough-looking, so broad-shouldered fellow that's barely fitting into the booth where he is, but elven. Clearly an elf, pointy ears and everything. Both of them too, but like built like a brick house. This fella.
Captain! I hold out the extra tankard of ale.
Grabs it out of your hand.
I got these landlubbers need a crew for a ship. Are you guys available?
What's the ship? Where's it going? How long do you need us?
We set out tomorrow, up north to Luskin.
You're up to Luskin. Business or pleasure?
Bit of both, I reckon.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
They got a ship.
Is the business? Should I know what the business is?
Well, I think they're just traveling. The travelers. They got a ship. They didn't got a crew. Are you available for tomorrow?
I got some men that are available. Aye. Sturdy crew.
All right.
How long do you need them for? The journey to Luskin from here is 2 days. I'm assuming you're not leaving straight away.
We're leaving tomorrow, and that's all we need them. We just need a one-way trip.
Right. Well, then they're going to have to make their own way back afterwards. Are they taking the boat back?
Probably not.
Right. So you want crew to get on your boat, sail your landlubbers to Luskin, get off the boat and ride back?
We can do whatever they want when they're there.
All right. I got some people. They can be at the docks by dawn, first light, ready to go, ready to sail whatever boat you got. How many people do you need?
5 to 10.
5 to 10. Well, how many do you want? 5 or 10?
We'll take 10.
6? 10. Okay, cool. All right. For a day's worth of work, each of these folks earns 10 gold pieces. You want 10 people, it's 100 gold a day. 200 gold for the whole trip. You also pay an extra 50% on top to help cover the cost of getting them back here. So at 300 gold, you got your crew.
So Carl feels like that's a large amount for what we're asking for. Can I see if Lafcadio is getting this sense?
Check.
Yes, thank you. 12. And I'm looking at Wampum and Kale.
You don't have any reason to suspect this is a bad deal, not having had to hire.
I would like to read his mind.
Would you like to roll an insight check, Kale?
Well, no, I want to use my channel divinity to make him do a whiz save to see if I can read his surface thoughts.
Note, with Kale, every NPC has to have stats.
He could just fail automatically, it's fine.
13, does that succeed?
It does not.
Okay. So, you hear his surface thoughts,
Mhm.
which at first kind of disgust you a little bit, because they're in reference to Lafcadio's stature. In his strange visage, he apparently has created a visage that this captain, seems to be attracted to. Past that, while talking about the deal, if you want to get some sort of insight or surface thoughts about the price, you got to get him talking about it so that he's thinking about it. Because right now he's thinking about Lafcadio.
Okay, so sorry to interrupt. You said the price is 300 gold pieces total.
Yeah.
Because we have to pay
10 gold per person.
10 gold per person. It's 100 gold. Takes 2 days to get there.
Aye.
And they need 100 gold to get themselves back.
Aye.
So what if we were to, I mean, obviously, so that gold, that's just the cost of labor.
That's the cost of their time and help, yeah.
Okay.
Now, during all of this, you do get a sense from surface thoughts that it is, there is quite an amount of profit in there.
Right, and, you know, he wants to make a profit, of course.
He pays each individual sailor 1 gold piece per day. So the cost would be 10 gold per day for the whole 10 crew, 20 gold, 30 in total would actually be what they would be paid, and he would pocket 270 gold himself.
That seems a little extreme.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Well, that seems like kind of a hefty sum. Are you sure? You know, I can provide all sorts of services. I am a powerful magical person, right?
You know.
I can provide them all sorts of food, or I can provide them, you know, food and fresh water is no problem, or I can give that to you before we leave, and you can add that to your stock for nothing. Really, anything. Is there anything in particular that you think that I could do for you, being a practitioner of magic, that might drop the cost a little bit?
Roll a persuasion check.
Sure. 18.
There are a couple things that flash through his mind. He doesn't mention those. And instead, you're a magic-y folk.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, how about... Are you good at crafting magical stuff? Spells and potions and the like.
I could probably make some. Yeah.
Okay. Well, how about this? Cut the price in half for you, so it ends up being 150 gold. And you also, by the end of the journey, provide my crew with a potion of healing each, or a spell scroll of some healing spell. Savvy?
Boy. Would I know if that's something I could swing in 2 days?
So the crafting of spell scrolls is obviously dependent on the spell level itself. Let me just double check the rules on that.
Let's say
Potions of healing, if you have a herbalism kit and are proficient in a herbalism kit, you can craft 1 potion of healing per day. But that's about it.
so. The scroll's what, like a first level, like a cure wounds scroll?
Just double checking the amount of time that it takes to create them. I believe scribing a spell scroll at first level isn't that. Yeah, so first level spell you can do 1 in 1 day, and it will cost you 25 gold. So in that, you're actually losing money in that deal. Because if you're making 10 people 10 either potions of healing, which would cost 25 gold, or a spell scroll of healing word, would then be 250 gold that you're using on the crew to get 150 gold off the price of the journey.
Right. All right. So, sensing that my mind reading's going to probably run out soon because it only lasts like a minute, I'm going to say that's not something that I think I can do. I think you don't really understand exactly the amount of work that goes into creating magical items. I can do maybe 2 on the way, but I'm going to suggest that you knock maybe the 150 gold off anyway, and I'll make sure that your crew members are duly compensated once we arrive in Luskin, and then you will get your, your stuff.
Well, the payment would be up front. All right. How about we do this?
Well, just a note real quick. I did just suggestion spell him.
Oh, you just suggestion spelled him?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So wisdom save. Oh,
and
no,
he doesn't get a save.
He doesn't get to make the save. It's just
part of the channel divinity. Yeah.
Yep. All right. So, what were the particulars of the deal that you had said specifically?
Basically, knock it down to 150 is basically all his part.
Yeah.
That's all that would involve him. The rest of it is I promised him that I would make sure his crew, specifically saying his crew, would get compensated once we arrive in Muscat.
Okay. Then, sure. 150 it is. The whole crew just turned to look at him weirdly.
Great. And I'll call out 150 pieces of gold out of I'll do it like under the table. I don't want to see I got what I'm doing, but I'll get 150 gold pieces and drop them on that table.
You drop 150 gold pieces onto a table in a seedy tavern.
Yeah, that's his problem now.
Okay. He's gonna start a fight. Yeah, so the coins kind of start to shake and hit over the table. Some fall onto the floor all around it. The sound of coin dropping sends everyone in the tavern silent. There are people in the middle of a brawl, people drinking when everyone just stops and turns. There's a tense just moment of electricity in the air.
I call out. I say, "Oi, mind your business!"
Roll an intimidation check.
Actually, as he's doing that, I'll thaumaturgy like all the lights down, like all the lanterns and everything, like dim, and shut all the doors, like slam any doors or windows shut.
25.
Okay. People sit back down, go back to their things. Some music begins playing again. All right, people are ignoring you. No one's charging over the table to grab at the gold. But in all this time, the Captain Anaroth has grabbed everything. All right, well, my crew will be at the docks first thing at dawn. What's your ship called? We'll get it ready.
It's the catfish.
The Catfish. I've been on these waters for a while. That doesn't sound familiar.
It's a new ship.
All right. So by first light, your ship will be ready to sail off.
That's right.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. No, I mean like that's what my crew will do for you. We'll come and we'll get the ship ready to sail before you arrive.
Well, just have them arrive at the same time. It won't take very long to set up. Just trust me. Just have them arrive at first light, and everything will be fine.
Okay.
Actually, tell them like 15 minutes after first light.
All right. Are you sure? Okay.
I'm sure.
If the journey takes more than the 2 days, my men will require additional compensation.
Of course, yes.
Cool. Then you guys step out, having secured yourself some of Benny's boys.
Sorry, that sounds funny. Yeah, cool. So what was going on at the House of Knowledge?
So what spell were you copying?
I'm going to spend 10 hours copying the teleportation spell.
Okay.
If you're gonna spend 10 hours doing that,
Yeah.
I'll go back to Harper headquarters.
Yeah. The Nos would fall asleep in 10 minutes. So, all right, 10 hours spent doing
Because
that.
it's a level 5 spell, yeah.
Yeah. It's also going to cost you
250
250 gold.
Yep.
You're hemorrhaging money at this rate.
Yeah, I know. Should have bought that bag of holding.
All right.
And
So
then,
you leave the tavern. What are you guys? Are you guys going to do anything else before nightfall, before the dawn, where you get on your ship, the Catfish, and head out?
I wanted to scry on the captain's cabin. Since I've seen it before, I can just scry on that location. So I can also hear things in there.
All right. So the captain's cabin does not need. It's not a person that you're scrying on. You've seen it. Okay.
Mhm.
So you look into the captain's cabin in the evening. You get at first no one in there.
Mhm.
Then eventually one of the captains comes in. He's followed by a couple other individuals, including the other captain. As they step in, they all look around. Masks come off. Roll a perception check.
24.
Okay. The two masked individuals are drow. Underneath their wide-brimmed hat, their long white hair has been pulled back into a small little knot on the top. Their visage looks fairly young for a male drow. Probably early hundreds. Not too old for an elf. They're talking to a third individual. Now you can hear now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This third individual seems to be some form of steward-like person, as they're giving this person orders and they're just jotting them down. Get the crew ready. We're heading out. We will dock with the Crituitous to take our shift in 3 days.
Princess to take our shift in 3 days. Okay. Got
And
it.
they talk about just generally, the state of the sea voyage and what they need to do to prepare. Nothing really of any particular note, but that's the important details you get. They would dock with the Crituitous, whatever that means, and they would take a shift with it.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Good. Perfect. That's the exact sort of info I was looking for.
Yep.
I'm done for the night. I'm gonna study Gnomish the rest of the night.
All right. Nos, you just kind of chilling at the Harper headquarters.
I'll go bug Leo again if he's
Yeah.
available. I'll just hang out with him.
Doing anything fun or just hanging out?
I'll bring him a flower. I'll pass by like a little flower girl stall on the way there, and I'll pick one up and I'll give it to him when I get there.
Oh, shucks. Thank you.
Welcome.
And he'll grab you a nice meal, and you'll have takeout from the local Harper cafeteria and just.
That's
Talk.
nice.
I'd like to listen to some of your stories and some of the things that you might know about cities and share stories of weird encounters, because he's been all around and he was involved in a whole dragon deal a couple of years back.
Yeah, I'll tell him all about Westgate and how some stuff happened lately where the sea levels around the Sea of Fallen Stars went all wacky and stuff, and where that went and who's now in control of it and how it's all espionage in that place now.
Fair
Might be a place where you'd get on pretty well.
I'll bring my tray and sit down right next to them. Say, mate, I've been looking for you. Not Nos.
Yeah. Hey.
There's a skill set that we lost in our party, and I'm wondering, are you you're good at getting things? Do you have like a set of lock picking tools, and maybe someone who could show me how to use them?
Well, I could.
Great.
He'll reach into his pocket, pull out a little string of keys, and they're all different shaped keys, and they don't look like actual keys, but they look like a set of lockpicks that you've seen. I could show you how to use it, but it's not exactly something you can pick up in a day or two.
Well, if you can get me the tools and show me some basics, maybe I can practice on my own.
All right, let's see how good you are with them, and he'll talk you through the basic premise of using lockpicks, and then ask you to unlock this lock, and he'll hand you a lock. Okay. So roll a dexterity-based skill check with. Well, you're not proficient in thieves' tools, so you don't get to add your proficiency bonus.
So just a dex check then?
Just a dex check, yeah.
7.
You struggle, and you really it's painful, really, to watch. All right. You're gonna need someone to teach you, someone to really work you through it. I have a beginner set of thieves' tools you can use, and he'll give you a simple set of thieves' tools. You're welcome to use them, but until you can learn proficiency in them, they're not really going to be much use to you.
Thanks, mate.
No problem.
Do you know any really good teachers? If I'm back here next time, who should I seek out?
If you've got the time, I'll teach you. It'll take a couple weeks, but I'll teach you.
Right. All right. Well, don't have that, but thanks for the tools.
Fair enough. All right. It was good.
Okay, bye-bye now.
Where are you going? Oh, me. Okay. I'll get it.
Cheers. Good night. All right. So, our party, relax. Do various your downtime activities. You enjoy your evening, and you have the extra information. You have confirmed there are drow. They were just hidden. You've got a bit more knowledge about the Breaking Day Earth situation. You will all rest in the Harper HQ for the night, right?
Mm-hmm.
But perhaps go to sleep early enough that you can wake up just before dawn and get out to the docks.
Mm-hmm.
When you do wake up, having gained full benefits of a full long rest, and you pull out the ship.
Yep.
Do you remember the command word to make it the biggest one?
Big gun? Is that what it was?
I'd like to hear Kale say it.
Oh, I did write it down, but I have lost pages. It's on the floor. Boy. Too many. Biggin.
All right. The little box suddenly begins to unfold itself and shift, and planks of wood suddenly appear and then bolt themselves into place. The sail grows up, very much like the intro to Game of Thrones, but with a boat, as it just builds itself piece by piece. Eventually, the boat is there. It's a big, huge galley that you've got. But there's no name on the side. And your crew are going to be looking for the catfish. So what are you going to do about that?
Well, I'm going to be recalling our walk to the harbor, and I'll have a chat with Taslin. I'll say, Taslin, what'd you learn at that fancy magic school?
Well, I picked up a spell to teleport to teleportation circles.
Really? Do you know any teleportation circles?
Not a one.
When you learn the spell, you get 2, I believe. I think it specifies in the spell description.
Teleportation circle.
On the way to the ship, is there fish being dealt with or being sold?
Yep.
So I learned 2.
I'm gonna grab a catfish.
Okay.
I'm gonna grab a hammer and nail, and I'm gonna nail the catfish right on the front of the boat.
I approve.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. So, Taslin,
Taslin. Yes.
you get 2 locations.
All right.
They give you one of those locations. They give you as the public access to Neverwinter. It doesn't give you any private locations within Neverwinter. It actually drops you off to a small hub building that's outside the city walls.
Okay.
That you can then teleport into. So they give you that teleportation circle, and you get 1 other. Is there any particular location that you would be interested in getting?
Would I be able to get one in Luskin?
You would be able to get 1 in Luskin.
All right, so I will grab that.
They explain to you that the one that you get for Luskin does appear to be, from what their knowledge is, it is one of those that is usually used by the high captains. It actually drops you out near the what is known as the high captain's quarters, but it's the smallest modicum of law that Luskin has ever had, or the largest modicum, I should say. It's a small amount of law, but it is pretty much all they had, and so that's where you get taken to.
I just want to make sure that I can go get my cloak before we leave.
Yes, you'll get your cloak, and you will get 5 wonderful. So they'll emboss the symbol of Neverwinter onto your cloak, and they'll also provide 5 blue Neverwinter guard cloaks with the big symbol of Neverwinter on the back.
Sweet.
And they're embossed with nice.
Oh yes,
Nice edges and.
It's very nice. It's good golden thread that's used to actually create the image of the city of Neverwinter. It's nice. It's good quality.
Okay.
Allie would love one of these.
Yes, he would.
Which is why he gave you 5, so you have 1 spare. Right. Now, as our party get ready to embark with the catfish and their crew of Benny's boys, we'll enjoy that voyage next week on Half Rate Heroes. So thank you so much for joining us this week, for sticking with us. If you like what we do, follow us here on Twitch, subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter. We are at Crituitous RP. You can follow us on Tumblr. That is crituitousrp.tumblr.com. Yep. Eventually, I'll actually learn it, but I struggle. And yeah, we love to hear your comments and thoughts. I was informed, because right now I don't read the chat too much, that people were talking about Waterdeep Dragon Heist in the book. Tweet us so we can talk to you back about it. I love the Waterdeep Dragon Heist adventure, and plenty of thoughts about it. So we'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Okay? Good night, folks. See you next week.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.